Sige, go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oo, okay na, Squash. So, good day everyone. We are the Group 3 and we are here to discuss about the 10 critical equipments inside the engine room. So, next slide, please. So, here are the Group 3 crew. These are the cadets in the engine department. So, first is Cadet Charles Limwell Diplomo, Cadet Prince John D. Inhambre, Cadet Cyril J. Eroy, Cadet Rainiel P. Escosio, and Cadet Cyril T. Filicano. So next slide. So first is the emergency fire pump. So what is the emergency fire pump? So it is a fixed emergency fire pump independently driven by self-cooled compression ignition engine or an electric motor which power is supplied from emergency generator. When all the fire pumps are out of action, either disabling the pumps or their source of power, emergency fire pump can still be used. So next, so why is it considered as a critical equipment? On ships, every machinery is provided with a backup system, one duplex or spare system, or an emergency backup system. So for firefighting system, the fire pump is an important machinery and if it fails, the complete fire line will become inactive, leading to spread of the fire in no time. That's why it is considered as a critical equipment. So next, so these are the spare parts from the fire pump. So next, again, these are the spare parts. So next is the main air compressor sets. Next. So what is it? So the main air compressor is the lifeblood of the onboard air system. So the air compressor works by lowering the volume of air in order to increase the pressure. On ships, compressed air is utilized for variety of purposes. The main engine is started primarily with 30 bar high pressure air, and then pressure reduction valves reduce the high pressure air to lower working pressures, which are then employed for other vital functions. So next, so why is it considered as a critical equipment? As we all know, main air compressor sets used to supply highly pressurized air to start main and secondary engines. This is considered as a critical equipment because when it fails to function, there will be no high pressurized air to start main and secondary engines. Thus, main and secondary engine will not function and as well as serve its purpose in the ship's system. So these are the air compressor spare parts. So that will be my end. Next will be
Good,
report by Cadet Charles Limwell.
good day, everyone. I am Engine Cadet Charles Demilde Diploma, and I'm going to talk about the fuel and oil leak alarm. So, what is the function of the fuel and oil leak alarm? So, and oil leak detection systems are designed to detect the presence of leaking fuel oil, kerosene, and diesel. Uses include detection of leaking storage tanks, leaks from fuel pumps, leaks within bonded fuel tanks, pipe in leak, pipe leak, generators leaking fuel onto the floor, and many other applications. And why is it considered as a critical equipment? In order to prevent serious damage being done through faulty pipes, it is essential to install a water leak system, fuel oil system, and etc. that will detect a problem before disaster hits. The detection system will alert you to even the smallest of leaks so that you can resolve them quickly. This is the following spare parts of a fuel and oil leak alarm. Next is the main and auxiliary engine circulating system pump sets. What is its functions? So a circulator pump also known as a circulating pump in air and auxiliary engine, is a type of pump that circulates gases, liquids, or slurries in a closed circuit to ensure that fluids or gases are always available near the point of consumption. As a result, water circulation pumps are often employed in hydronic heating and cooling systems to circulate the water. So why is it considered as critical equipment? It is considered as a critical equipment because of its relevance to the engine. When main and auxiliary engine circulating system pump sets malfunction because of several reasons, this will affect the entire main and auxiliary engine, thus lead to an unavailability of fluids or gases near the point of consumption. The following are the spare parts of the main and auxiliary engine circulating system pump sets. That's all for my report. Next is Mr. Sergey Iray.
Good day, everyone. I am Engine Cadet Eraser J, and for today, I am tasked to talk about main engine electrical blower. So, next slide, please. So, what is main engine electrical blower? So, it is to provide sufficient air supply in the engine, especially during startup. If there is an insufficient air supply during combustion during startup, the engine will have problems such as black smoke, burnout from inefficient combustion, and may even fail to start at all. The turbocharger can supply enough air for proper combustion because there's a less RPM flow during startup. The main purpose of blower is to make sure that during engine startup and low load operation, delivery of positive charged air is sufficient and to drive out the exhaust gases. The scavenging air pressure is kept a little higher than the exhaust and ambient pressure. And why is it main engine electric blower is considered as critical equipment? Because uh, if there is insufficient air supply during combustion and during startup, the engine will have problems such as black smoke, burnout from inefficient combustion, and even fail to start at all. And as we know, this is responsible for providing sufficient air supply to the engine. Thus, it needs to be maintained properly to lengthen its usability in the ship system. Next slide, please. And we can see the spare parts below. And also the emergency generator. Next slide, please. So, what is engine generator? Engine gener- Emergency generator is connected to its own emergency switchboard and they are located together in a compartment above the water line on the boat deck. In normal operation, the emergency board is supplied from the main board by a cable called the interconnector. Next slide, please. So why is it considered as critical equipment? So emergency generator is without a doubt one of the most important equipment on board. Why? Because it is responsible for preventing accidents and grounding during power failure while the ship is heavy traffic, channels rough weather or in maneuvering. So this is the spare parts of an emergency generator. Next slide, please. So for the next topic is will be discussed by Mr. Discussion. Mr. Discussion.
Good day, everyone. I am Engine Cadet Rainier P. Escosio. Today, I will discuss the main and auxiliary engine system filters. As shown in the image below, it is an example of the main and auxiliary engine system filters. What is it all about? The filter is a tiny mesh screen that removes contaminants from the ship's oil, water, and air. Filters are placed in the pairs as part of duplex system, allowing one to be operated while the other is kept on standby at the same time. The filter can be employed in both low pressure suction and high pressure discharge sides of the system to eliminate the tiniest particles to fill that are transported away in the system. The strainer is a sort of filter that is typically employed on the low pressure or suction side of the system to remove big contaminated particles. And why is it the main and auxiliary engine system filters is considered as a critical equipment? Filters play an a very crucial role in all systems. They remove unwanted particles in all types of fluids, cleanse them of debris. Filters are considered critical equipment because it makes sure that the fluids in the system are clean and ready for use, and also ensure that the fluids that are being discharged overboard meets regulatory standards set by MARPOL. And this is the spare parts of main auxiliary engine system filters. The next one is the heavy fuel oil or HFO and lube oil LO pumps. This is an example of this equipment. And what is it all about? Onboard ships, marine fuel pumps are necessary to load fuel oil and lube oil onto a ship, transport it from the tank to tank, the supply and supply it to the engine. Oil transfer pumps, as the name implies, transport oil and other viscous liquids. Transfer pumps are responsible for moving fuel oil into and around your ship in the maritime industry. And why is it heavy fuel oil and lube oil pumps is considered as critical equipment? HFO and LO pumps are critical equipment because they regulate and transport fuel oil and lube oil to various parts of the system, ensuring that they are functioning optimally and efficiently. When HFO and LO pumps fail, the vessel will suffer damages in the systems that may cause for the vessel to dry dock, which is consuming and expensive. And this is the spare parts of the heavy fuel oil and lube oil pumps. That's all for my part. Now let's proceed to feed water system pumps sets to be reported by Mr. Cyril Pelicano.
Good day, everyone. I am Engine Cadet Pelicano Cyril T, and for today, we will be tackling all about the ninth critical machinery on board, which is the feed water system pump set. Next slide, please. Feed water system pump set. What is it? So, a feed pump is a type of pump that is used to supply water to a boiler in order to generate steam. A feed pump provides a liquid for further processing in an industrial setting. Feed water can also be pumped into industrial boilers for steam generation using a feed pump. The steam can be utilized to turn the rotors of a turbine or other equipment. Feed pumps increase the pressure in the boiler, allowing feed water to enter. These pumps are high pressure pumps that come into two types: the positive displacement feed pumps and the centrifugal feed pumps. Next slide. Why is it considered as a critical equipment? So feed water pumps, especially for boilers, has a very critical role in the vessel's operation. They ensure that feed water is constantly pumped into the system to make sure that enough water is available for consumption. Failure of feed water pump, especially for boilers, will cause explosion, which is extremely hazardous for the crew and the vessel itself. Next slide is the spare parts or the spare parts of a feed water system pump sets. Next slide, please. The tenth and last critical equipment on board is the boiler circulating pump sets. Next, next slide, please. So what is it? To improve boiler functioning, circulating pumps circulate water within the boiler. They suction from a header connected to multiple downcomers at the bottom of the boiler drum, then discharge through additional tube circuits. This indicates that the water being pumped as it has the same temperature and pressure as a boiler. Boiler circulating pumps are built to withstand high temperatures, often between 150 and 315 degrees Celsius, 300 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on boiler size and rating, as well as high pressure corresponding to boiler temperature and water vapor pressure. Why is it considered as critical equipment? Because boiler circulating pump is considered a critical equipment because it regulates the temperature and pressure of the water that is in the boiler. This will prevent abnormalities in the output of the boiler and ensures efficient operation of the vessel. Here lies all the spare parts of the boiler circulating pump sets. Thanks for listening.